What's up, Pisces? Welcome to your November 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kaylee Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who's working on their personal growth, self-expression, or spirituality in any form. So if those areas of life are important for you, or you're just into entrepreneurship and making things happen for yourself, definitely go ahead and stay tuned. And let's get into your meditation messages. So while I was tuning in, I had a really strong feeling of excitement, which is interesting because it was accompanied by like a view, like an overseas, a high up view of the ocean. And it gave me a feeling like some of you could be like planning on going overseas, or maybe this is a metaphor for a totally dynamic adventure that you're either on the precipice of committing to, or it's just really on your mind, or maybe you've already committed yourself to it. But there's a very strong feeling of excitement and pilgrimage and just ready to take the plunge. I feel like that's what I have to call this reading, is ready to take the plunge. It's like you are standing on this outlook where you're able to see so far, and it's like you're ready to go. And it just feels like this powerful adventure. So I'm not sure if some of you are thinking about moving, maybe especially abroad, or if you're thinking about going on a trip, or maybe just starting a totally different lifestyle in some way. But it feels very exciting, and I feel like you really just have to take the first couple of steps in November. You don't have to know the whole plan. I just think that you're ready for a change, Pisces, and it feels so good. It feels like somebody just threw open the windows, and there's just this gust of salty sea air or something. It just feels very exciting. So you can probably tell my own energy is up from that meditation. So let's take a look at your cards. Pisces. I was also just seeing almost like a Greek statue of a naked woman, like a goddess type of woman, with a, I guess it could have been Aphrodite, but kind of like a robe thing. So I don't know why that is coming through. Okay, so we have Lamb and Vulture. This is crazy. The Vulture card is coming through as the obstacle or the influence, while the Lamb represents your path. And when I look at these cards, I feel that there's a very strong dichotomy here between the yang and the yin, or you could say the light and the dark, the positive and the negative. But of course, we know that there's the interplay between the yin and yang is neutral fundamentally. But the Lamb here represents kind of forces of light, forces of expansion, forces of broadening and truth. And the Vulture, by contrast, in this context, I feel represents this energy of release, letting go of what's not true. It's what needs to happen in order for something that's decaying to fall away. And it's about facing your fears in order to get to the light, in order to get to a rebirth, or in order to get to the purification that's indicated by the Lamb card. So there is an energy here of, even though the Vulture isn't technically a predator because they do, feast on things that are already dead, the lamb feels very much like a sweet, soft, mammalian, childlike energy that you're moving towards. It's like a rebirth on an internal level that represents a lot more joy for you. But in order to experience that, you have to face some kind of reckoning with the vulture. You have to face some kind of releasing process or some kind of letting go in order to get to this rebirth and this purification that we see with the Lamb card. So it's a very powerful reading already. Let's take a look at your Sacred Destiny Oracle card. It's potential. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I feel like it really resonates with what was coming through in the meditation. Just that feeling of, the window being opened and the air coming in and seeing just the ocean from really high up and feeling this sense of, oh, I can breathe again, or there's a feeling of optimism and looking towards the future again. There's just something exciting about it. So yes, potential. I really, really love that. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. So we've got the Death card, which again, nothing new here. You've got Vulture and then the Death card right away. Totally makes sense. We've got the Warrior of Coins, the Nine of Coins, the King of Coins. Wow, lots of coins. The Empress, which is really beautiful. The Ace of Swords. And the Slave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. And the Three of Cups. So this is an old deck. It's a deck from 1929. So some of the words are not what I would choose, but I love the history. So I do think it makes sense, though, the pages being kind of these people who are at the entry level. So they're working on things in a very grounded way. Like they're learning the tasks that the people who are further along in their craft don't necessarily want to do, and they're kind of starting at square one. So I kind of see that with the Page card. But at any rate, let's look at the week by week, because this is a really interesting month. So the first week of November, you've got the Death card with the Warrior of Swords. Or the Warrior of Coins, I'm sorry. He's got this huge sword. I'm like, that's not the Warrior of Swords. He's got this coin and this big sword. So the Warrior of Coins with the Death card. I feel like this is kind of reaping what you've sown from the past and starting fresh when it comes to matters of practical importance in your life. Some of you are leaving a job, or you are exiting a lifestyle and starting a new one. So if you were a student for a long time, now you're working, or some of you are going from working to being a student. Maybe you're transitioning out of an industry or a career, and so you're making a change. You're leaving that job so that you can study for a while to make more income, so that you can get in a higher paying job or a higher paying craft or something like that. Overall, though, I feel like this is really about using what you have at your disposal. The Death card implies this sense of things being composted, right, and letting go of the past. But the Warrior of Coins strikes me as very resourceful. He strikes me as somebody that wouldn't let anything go to waste. So it is about letting go of the past, but it's also about using what you can from the rubble of the past, or from whatever you're leaving behind. So it's almost like I see him kind of picking up something at a garage sale. Like he picked up that coin at a garage sale and he's like, wow, this is a great deal. So there could be something like that too, where you're discovering something in an area or in a situation where other people would just skip over it because they're like, oh, that's obviously not of value, but you're actually finding things of value in unexpected places. And that is actually one of the best ways to create, because you're not just trying to do new things, you're repurposing old things. And I think that that can be very rewarding. And it's also very creative. So maybe some of you, if I have any Etsy makers out there, the first week of November is a great time to go bargain hunting or garage sailing if there's people doing garage sales in your area, because you could find some really great tools and some things that are going to be really, really useful for you with whatever it is that you make. But overall, it's like you're finding value in unlikely places. And I think that that's always a good sign for you, because it's showing that you're being resourceful and that you are able to employ the resources that are at your disposal. And that's always a really great way to show the universe that you are capable of managing wealth, is starting with managing just the possessions that you already have and the money that you already have in your bank account. If you do a really good job with that, then you're going to attract more. It's just a natural kind of metaphysical truth that when you handle the things that you have well and with respect and with care, then your value and appreciation in more ways than just one grows over time. So the second week of November looks like a fantastic month for you when it comes to finances. Some of you, if you are maybe someone who already is in business, you could see a sudden influx in customers or clients or orders, or there's just overall a really awesome sense of like you're killing it. You're killing it financially when I look at these cards. The King of Pentacles is, again, he's a master of his environment, and his environment is business and finance. So some of you could be making a really good investment as well in the second week of November, because you also have the Nine of Coins, which is about self-sufficiency, and it's about investing as well. So some of you could be investing in a property or in the stock market, or maybe investing some of your time into developing a new skill, which is going to prove to be very financially lucrative for you. But overall, I see wonderful, wonderful financial energy coming through for you guys. So definitely be creative. Don't hold yourself back from acting on your ideas this month, because you're going to have ideas that will be able to produce tangible results. So it's really exciting for you, and I think that this is going to be a really good time for your pocketbook, especially if you're being conscious about what you're spending money on, right? And you know, the money that's coming in isn't completely being spent right away and it's going out. And I think that's where the spend thrift energy comes in. That's where knowing how to get a good deal on things can be really useful, because then you're hanging on, you know, you're possessing of an attitude that helps you hang on to what you're doing, hang on to the growth that and the momentum that's happening, and rather than just, you know, having it all come out the other end. The third week of November, we've got the Empress and the Ace of Swords. So this is really powerful. I feel like there's some kind of idea or some kind of development that may be a little bit abstract at first. It could come from someone else, but there's some kind of idea or point that's being made in the third week of November that really crystallizes something for you. And this could come through a woman in your life. The Empress can be a mother figure, a mentor, a counselor, an influencer even, or an author, or a teacher. But if she represents somebody outside of you, Pisces, she's somebody who is giving you really good information, or she's giving you good advice, or she's telling you the truth, which is the Ace of Swords, right? So we've got the Sword of Truth with a nurturing and loving and noble woman. So there's some kind of insight, there's a piece of insight, or there's an inspiration that comes, and it either is coming from her or it's coming through you, Pisces, whether you're male or female, but it's empowering you in terms of your creativity and in terms of entrepreneurship as well. Because the Ace of Swords represents simplicity, I think that this is an idea or a course of action that's going to make your life easier, and because of that, you're going to flourish. So keep your eye out for a solution to some kind of problem that you've been having in the third week of November. I really feel like something is going to come through for you, either as a source of inspiration or as a practical solution to something that's been bothering you or holding you back in some way. But overall, really awesome time. I think if the Empress represents somebody outside of you, then this would be a great time to book a session with somebody that you respect, like maybe somebody in your industry, or maybe even a life coach if you're in some kind of industry where you feel like maybe having some kind of personal accountability would be useful. Then, maybe working with a life coach or working with a business coach or even an accountant, this could be, or a lawyer, but somebody who gives good advice and who's very knowledgeable of the law or knowledgeable of just what works in business in some way. And I think that this is really going to unlock, like I'm seeing like a key, this is going to unlock something for you in the third week of November. So definitely go with that. I think that this is a month where a lot is actually manifesting for you, Pisces. It's really exciting. Now, the end of the month, you've got the Page of Wands and the Three of Cups. So I almost feel like some of you could be working to set up some kind of a group for others in your industry that are at a similar level as you are. So maybe you could be, if you do stuff on LinkedIn, or if you are networked at all in terms of your industry through any social media platform, I kind of feel like there's something about kind of getting together with your peers or people that you would consider your peers. And that can be really nourishing, particularly because you have the Three of Cups here. So I am going to say that this feels like you're able to find a lot of agreement with these people, whoever they are. And I feel like with the Page of Wands, it's kind of your excitement anyway to form more connections. So some of you could be setting up, for example, if you're really into numerology, you could be setting up a numerology monthly webinar on Zoom, or not a webinar, but like a meetup, right? You could be setting up a meetup group for numerology or for tarot or for divination in general, or you could be being invited to a group like that. Although with the Page of Wands here, the way he's working, I kind of feel like you are either a co-creator of it or you're working hard on it. Like you're not just a joiner, you're kind of part of the construction of the group or of the platform. Some of you could even be invited to become part of some sort of a panel of some kind of experts. If you are already considered an expert in your field, Pisces, you could be being invited to participate in some kind of a group or community type of event where you give your opinion and others of similar level of expertise or prominence in your industry are also giving their 2 cents. Overall, if none of that is relevant and you're an artist or you're a creative person, your work is being celebrated in some way, because here's the effort and then here's the Three of Cups, which is, people enjoying it. So some of you could be being featured maybe in someone else's work. You could get mentioned in an article, or you could be asked to hang a piece in a gallery. But overall, it is going to require some extra work for you, but I do think that it's good exposure, whatever this opportunity is that's coming in. And ultimately, I really think it's your excitement anyway. So whatever it is, if you're wanting to be a little bit more social, Pisces, if you're wanting to get more involved and connected, I think the end of the month, and also really throughout the month as well, but particularly the end of the month, I see these things kind of coming to fruition as far as feeling camaraderie and feeling connected and feeling more social. I see those energies really coming to fruition at the end of the month. And I feel like it's just going to be very emotionally rewarding and fulfilling. And who knows, maybe you'll make some important connections that you'll have for the rest of your career. We'll see. But I think that this is a very sweet energy. I really like it. I just think that it's really the beginning of the month. You're kind of facing some things from the past, or you're combing through the deplorables bin, with the Death card and the Warrior of Coins. You're digging through for a deal, or you're kind of going through the muck to get a diamond, so to speak. You're going through the muck to get a diamond, or you're the lotus growing out of the mud in the first week of November. But if you can get through that period where you are going to be working to, get through and decipher what's valuable and what's not, then, the rest of the month just looks super, super nice. Now, the Bob Ross message is, I look forward to seeing you again. Happy painting. God bless, my friend. That is super sweet. And again, I think this really relates to that social energy that we see at the end of the month, right? That's really sweet. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be more connected with people that either agree with you or people in your industry in some way, shape, or form at the end of the month. And it just feels like a happy reunion to me when I look at these cards. So I hope this reading has been helpful to you, Pisces. Please let me know in the comments if you have any feedback or questions. I would absolutely love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this reading, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to notifications so you never miss a reading. I hope you have an amazing month in November. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you next time.